Koi presents The Monsters of Kampala. A Koi original series written by Joel Gunayaka. The night air in Kampala was heavy, thick with the smell of rain mingling with the city's warm grit. In the Okello family estate's garden, Okello Sr. knelt beside his young grandson, Nyeko, guiding the boy's small hands around a polished wooden top. "Now, Nyeko," he murmured, his voice gravelly but soft. "You have to snap your fingers just right. That's the secret." Nyeko looked up at his grandfather with bright, curious eyes and tried to snap his fingers as he'd been shown, grinning as the top began to spin on the smooth stone floor. Nyeko laughed, and it was the rare, hearty laugh that Mr. Okello John Sr. adored. His grandfather, always in crisp, muted suits, a commanding figure respected by all, was nothing more than a kindly teacher to him tonight. But in the house, Mr. Okello's phone blinked with an incoming message. "They're coming. You've been betrayed." He felt it before he saw them, the almost undetectable rustle at the edge of the garden, the way the shadows seemed to shift against the night sky. In a smooth motion, he slipped a small but deadly blade from his belt and crouched lower beside his grandson. "Nyeko," he said, his voice barely a whisper, "I need you to play our special game. It's called Hide from the Grandpa. You see the trapdoor there?" He pointed to a narrow stone in the garden's corner. "Press it, and it'll open up a little spot just for you." "But, Grandpa, no arguments, young man. Just hide there and keep quiet." Okello blinked at him, a hint of fear breaking through his smile. The boy nodded, and with one last look at his grandfather, he slipped into the hidden chamber beneath the stone, pulling the trapdoor shut above him. Inside, it was dark, and he could hear some of the ambience outside and his own rapid breathing and the faint, muffled sounds above. The first shot came moments later. A silenced gun, sharp and brutal, punctured the silence as Okello Sr. fell back against the ground, clutching his chest. 4 men moved into the light, their faces obscured by dark hoods, their bodies shifting like wraiths. They approached him cautiously, guns aimed. One of the men, his voice low and dangerous, leaned down. "Where is the Panda Vault? Where is the drive? You've held it over us for far too long, and the families are impatient. Where did you hide it?" Okello Sr., barely able to lift his head, looked up with a smirk. "Right where you'll never find it," he said, his voice laced with a defiance that hadn't faltered in his 70 years. He chuckled, a short, painful sound, and then his body slumped, a final, scary stillness settling over him. The men swept the garden, house and garage, searching for anything that might reveal the location of the panda, a trove of secrets, his carefully guarded files on each mafia family, syndicates and high-level intel in Kampala, and every powerful ally or enemy he'd cultivated. After several minutes of fruitless searching, they vanished into the night, leaving nothing but the sound of their retreating footsteps and the distant hum of city life beyond the walls. A few minutes later, the trapdoor cracked open, and Nyeko emerged, his small hands trembling, his face pale. He ran to his grandfather's body resting in a pool of blood, shaking him gently. "Grandpa, Grandpa, wake up," he whispered, as if he were only sleep, as if his grandfather could snap his fingers and come back to life just like that. But Okello Sr. didn't move. He lay still, his face serene, his last act, one of quiet defiance and hidden strength. Nyeko knelt beside him, his hands trembling slightly as he reached out to steady himself. A single tear traced the curve of his cheek, falling silently onto the damp earth beneath him. The rain clouds had broken above, leaving only the soft, steady drip of water from the leaves above. Monsters of Kampala.